Hello, welcome back to the Orangebloods Texas Football Channel. I'm Geoff Ketchum, joined by Jason, Alex, Anwar. It's prediction day here on the channel. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, make sure you get all the notifications for all videos that we'll have related to Texas football, including the modcast. You can watch that from yesterday as you prepare yourself for Texas v. Baylor in Waco, Saturday morning. Jason, you're up on the screen right now. I don't really know why, but because you are, I will lean into you first. Where are you going with this one?
I was hoping you'd go with Alex first because I wanted to hear what the spread and the
you know what? You're right, Alex.
No, I want to do mine first and see how, if it even, because the last few times we've done this, I was like, wow, that is right in line with my thinking. A week ago, I thought Texas was going to win this game, but the more I break it down and I think of Baylor and Baylor's rushing attack, and Jerry Bohannon's very efficient and been pretty good as a quarterback for Baylor. He's involved in their running game. Texas on the road. You said it in our modcast, Ketch. This game sets up potentially, unfortunately for Texas, the same way Oklahoma State did. I mean, this is a Baylor team that can wear Texas out in the second half. And we've seen Texas have problems with that. I can't fully give Texas the benefit of the doubt. I think when both teams are playing their best, I think Texas is so much better. But can Texas play its best for 4 quarters? I can't give Texas the benefit of the doubt. I think Baylor's going to win this game. I think Baylor's going to run the ball and control the clock. I'm going to go fairly low scoring, but I'm going to go 27-24 Baylor victory.
Alex, let's hear the stats.
Okay, so all right, so the spread in the game isn't this thing opened up as a pick 'em. Now we're sitting at Baylor -3. 56% of the tickets are on Baylor -3, along with 70% of the money. So bigger bets are coming in on Baylor than are coming in on Texas.
What's the total, Alex? I'm curious. I had the 3 right on, but
as far as the total, it's 61.
I'm way under that.
37% of the tickets are on the under, but 84% of the money's on the under. So you have some kind of big betting group or somebody that could change as we get into the game. But right now that is very, very disproportionate. The Vegas sports books are certainly hoping this thing goes over, because even though it's only 37% of the tickets, 84% of the money is on the under of 61. So with that said, man, I'm just going to do Texas fans a favor, and I'm going to be like Jason. I'm going to pick Baylor here in this one. And here are the reasons why. And here's the reason why I'm also conflicted about it. The main reason I'm conflicted about it is because Sarkisian has had 2 weeks to prepare for this, and his back's against the wall, and he knows he needs to win. And like Ketch said, there's the Arch Manning stuff, and when you look at it, one of the best players on their defense is their nose tackle. I worry about Jake Majors' strength versus that guy. I worry about Tope Amadi versus that guy in zone. I also think that if this is the kind of situation where, it's a lot of factors are in play. Like we said, it felt like other losses and, going on the road. I know Ketch doesn't entirely believe it about the tacky McLane Stadium, but it actually was built for noise, with the way that they built those little buffers that encircle the top of it's built at a steep angle, and there's the buffer.
I'm just telling you what Josh Thompson said.
Yeah. Oh God, we don't need to get into that again. I just think, it's an away game. We've seen these guys struggle in away games. We've seen these guys have trouble closing out games. I feel like there's a lot of factors that are going to have to fall into place for Texas for them to win this football game. So until I see it, I'm tired of picking Texas based and betting on the come. I want to see it this week. And then maybe when we get into some of these tougher matchups, the Iowa States of the world, I can feel comfortable about saying, you know what, I think Texas can put it together and get this done. But for now, I'm going to pick the game to go under. I'm going to stick with these sharp bettors. So the over under 61. So the applied total with 30.5 plus 1.5 is 32 to. So like 32 to this is a 32 to 29 implied game. I'm going to put it underneath that. I'm going to say
31-28. No.
I'm going to say it goes 28 to 24 Baylor.
Mr. Richardson?
Well, I won't break the pattern of the prediction today. So, to me, there's a lot of I need to see it before I just have that blind faith that sometimes we kind of give Texas, we kind of like to give them the benefit of the doubt. But while Texas has had a bye week this week, so has Baylor. So you have two teams that have had the opportunity to sit back and see what the other can do. And I think this will tell us a lot, I think, KETCH, because both teams have had a time to prepare. Both teams have had a chance to give their best. Both teams have something to play for. Like Baylor, this is the stay in that Big 12 kind of championship hunt for them. Texas can't afford another loss if they want to get to the Big 12 title game. But we've seen what this offense can look like. We know what Bijan can do. We know what Xavier Worthy can do. It's just the other components around them. Texas is still going to bring this offensive line with them to Baylor. And, I worry about Casey Thompson, staying upright for, throughout the rest of the season with that blocking that he's received. This defense, I think they're going to struggle against the run and stopping that Baylor run. Again, I won't, what I see in the first quarter will not be what I allow for me to believe is going to happen from the rest of the game, because we know the first quarter, for the most part, Texas is going to come out hair on fire. We know that's the scripted plays that Sarkisian is going to do. It's going to be perfect, probably going to result in a touchdown. It's just going to be what happens as that other team makes adjustments, what kind of adjustments that they make. And Sarkisian described their adjustments to other teams' adjustments as adequate. Well, that's not going to cut it, especially against the good coaches in this conference. So I'm going to go with Baylor. I'm going to go with 34-30 will be my final score, for that one. If you're a Texas fan, a lot of my predictions haven't been too accurate this year. So you might be looking in the catbird seat and say, well, damn, whatever he does, it's like opposite George and Seinfeld. Just do the opposite and you'll be okay. But I'm going to go Baylor 34-30.
Fellas, I am going to go Texas. Let me tell you why I'm going Texas. Flat out denial. Flat out, my life and our lives will be miserable if this team loses to Baylor. They will lose the next week to Iowa State. Like, this is the moment. I'm expecting a game very similar to Oklahoma State in that I think, like Anwar said, Texas will look great in the first half. They're going to look great in the first quarter. Will they be able to separate from Baylor in a way that doesn't make this a second half game? No, I don't think Texas is running away from Baylor. I think it turns into exactly the kind of game that it was against Oklahoma State. My head tells me that Baylor's going to win this game. My head tells me that Baylor's going to win this game and that Alex, it's going to go over the number, because I think that both of these teams are probably going to score in the 30s. But for the sake of Orangebloods and my general day-to-day life, I'm going to pick Texas and hope,
and we all hope you win. Oh my God, we all hope
because I don't even want to put the juju into the air. Like, I think it's very realistic that in about 51 hours, life around Orangebloods might be a very dark place. And boy, I think a lot of things happen at 4-4 and none of them are good. So I'm just going to do what is it's very in vogue in 2021 to just say that stuff doesn't exist. So I'm going to do that. Texas is going to win 34-31. I don't believe it, but you know what? What does that even matter? All that matters is I'm picking Texas because my worldview cannot allow right now the existence of what 4-4 or even 4-5 would mean in covering this program. I don't even want to say for like the next 12 months. Like, it might be that's the kind of thing that makes Alex start writing articles on what happens to coaches that start, you know what I mean? You know that article, Alex?
Let's just not put it out there, Ketch.
Exactly.
Don't put that in the
exactly.
universe.
So for that reason alone, it's complete denial. I do not believe in Texas. I do not necessarily believe that anything will change, but I'm going to predict it to change because I don't want my life right now any other way than Texas somehow finding a way to win this game, making Iowa State relevant, and potentially finding a back door to save a season that very much feels like it's on the rails. So 34-31, Texas over Baylor. It doesn't have to make sense. It only needs to happen. Ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave your predictions in the comments section. I'm curious to see. I have a feeling the comment section is going to be very pro Texas because I think they're living in denial just like I am. So as Captain Denial of the Orangebloods crew, I bid you farewell. Here's to us doing a video next week with predictions that are more uplifting than this because we're so inspired, guys, by Texas's performance against Baylor that it forces us to pick them against Iowa State.
Yeah.
Until that happens or not, we'll talk to you next time. Later.